Well, good morning, and thank you so much for being here today and inviting me. I want to thank Rhonda Nordyke and Dean Fliss for asking me to share my story. My name is Rebecca Shepard, and I first met Rhonda, I want to say about 3 years ago. We met at a networking event, and I was so excited to meet Rhonda. We talked about what both of us do in our career, and she was really excited to share with me some things about her career that I, at the time, was just so open and willing to talk about. So we were chatting about just, finances and the future, and I just got really excited. So I wanted to share with my husband the idea of maybe talking about and joining as clients with the firm. I was married to a man, however, who had, as we hear so much of, a jaded and skeptical idea of people in the financial business. And his experience and our experience was not a very pleasant one when it came to someone who wanted to manage our money. There was a evening event that we came to that I invited Chuck to, but of course he was skeptical. He just was not willing to listen because he had such a horrible experience in the past. And he felt like he really knew what he was doing in managing our money, and I trusted that. And in our marriage, I let him handle all of the finances. And I was comfortable with that, in part because I really didn't want to have my hands on with every single element of what our financial world was about. But I still remained very interested in what this organization represents. And so Rhonda and I continued our friendship. And I want to say it was around 6 months later when things really began to change. So my husband was an avid hockey player. He just loved to play the sport in a casual way with a bunch of his friends. And there was a championship game that he and the team had played, and he injured his knee. And unfortunately, it required him to have surgery to repair the problem with his knee. And so we scheduled the surgery that summer. We have 2 daughters, and we had just begun the summer break, and there they were with us. And I had changed some things with my job situation to be at home a little bit more. And so we had the surgery, and then the recovery of the surgery was a rough one for him. I expected that he would be moving around, and surprisingly, after even a week of the surgery, he ended up still not being able to walk, and we didn't really understand that that wasn't quite normal. We had follow-up appointments, and everything seemed to be fine, except that on the morning of Father's Day that year, it was June 21st, it was early in the morning. We got up, we had our family time, we were watching movies and making breakfast, and came to the point where I was ready to kind of get ready for the day. And while I was up in the shower, my daughters came up running and said, "Daddy fell, he's not okay, and we need your help." And so when I came downstairs, I realized that he had collapsed, and this was really serious. And as it turns out, that morning, he had a pulmonary embolism. And just like that, he passed away. And my life drastically changed. And all of a sudden, I was faced with having to be in charge of everything. Try to tell my girls that their father was gone and that our life was going to be very different. And at the time, I knew nothing about our financial situation because I gave that to him to be in control of. And I really regret that I didn't know. I wanted to be a part of that conversation, but I almost didn't want to be a part of that conversation because it just, stress comes when you talk about money, and when you have to really think about your future, and when you don't know. I don't know, sometimes it's easier for us to not know, except that it's really not that easy because it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, my children are very resilient, and so am I. Thank God I had met Rhonda that day, and that we became friends, because it was in that moment when I knew nothing that thankfully Tim could sweep right in and just say, all right, let's make sense of this. Here's where we start. Here's what I need. Take your time. And, here we go. For all the skepticism that Chuck had about the financial industry, he still had some things right. He wanted us to live debt-free. He wanted us to save for the future. So we did those things, thankfully. And he prepared for us, thankfully. So that, while it's not a get-out-of-jail-free card, I certainly don't have to worry now about how we're going to live. But I got to tell you, you look at the future, you look at how life changes. You never ask for a person to leave this life. That's not what we wanted. But what we did want was financial security for the future. And we have that. And I don't think I would be able to confidently say that if I wasn't so sure about how my money is being managed and about this active management concept that I fell in love with, the idea, because I know that we don't have to look at our statements every month and wonder, how much more is it going to dip before we finally grow again. I can just open those statements every month. In fact, some months I don't even open them, because I know Tim has my back, and I know that that where we are financially is secure. And as long as I continue to make the right decisions, I don't have to look my daughters in the eye and say, I don't know what your future looks like. I can look at them now and say it looks so bright, because we have so many choices based on the decision that I made, which is to actively manage our portfolio. No regrets on that at all. And I know that that we can all, as we're reaching out to people, that we believe in our message, and we believe in what we do, and what we have to offer. And so many people can look at us with that same level of skepticism and misunderstanding. But I can confidently say that this is really the only way to go, and our message is just so critical and so important in being able to change the way we can look at the world. Our world economy, our local economies can be so tumultuous, but that doesn't mean that our personal economy has to be. And yeah, it's a new concept for the majority of our audience, but that's what's so exciting. And that's why I'm here today, because I just believe that, no matter what resistance we get from people out there who might have the same kind of perspective as my husband did, there's so much more opportunity than there is demise in this world, and all we have to do is seek it out. So as you today are here and launching a new era and some great new possibilities, just know that the message that we carry is so incredibly critical. And a person doesn't have to die to be able to take advantage of what we have to offer. They just need to catch the vision, and it's our opportunity to share that vision by just sharing the message. So it's my hope that my message and my story can really inspire you to just understand that what we're doing is right. And even if it's so against the grain of what the rest of this industry is doing, we're on the right track, and we're doing what we need to change our personal economies for the better, and through that, be able to grow and change the economies throughout the world. So enjoy the rest of your meeting, and thanks for letting me be a part. Even though I'm not there in person, I'm just so excited eventually to be able to meet all of you. So thank you.